You are likely spending way too much money on starter feed for birds that are already secretly ready to give you breakfast. Most new chicken owners wait for months staring at an empty nesting box and wondering if their hens are broken or just lazy. The truth is that your chickens start sending out very loud signals long before that first egg actually hits the straw. If you do not know what to look for, you might miss the chance to switch their food or set up their boxes properly. This can lead to broken eggs on the floor or hens that get sick because they do not have enough calcium in their bodies. I want to make sure you know exactly when that first egg is coming so you can be prepared and excited rather than frustrated. The first thing we need to talk about is the calendar, because age is the most obvious sign, even if it is not perfect. Most standard breeds like Rhode Island Reds or Orpington start laying when they are between 18 and 24 weeks old. If you have Silkies or other fancy breeds, you might be waiting for 30 weeks or even longer before you see anything. Think back to the day you brought those tiny chirping balls of fluff home and check your calendar to see where you are. If your girls are hitting that 5-month mark, you need to start paying very close attention to their faces every single morning. When a pullet is getting ready to lay her comb and the wattles under her chin will turn a bright glowing red color. Before this stage, those parts of her head are usually pale pink or even a dull yellow color while she is growing. That sudden rush of blood and color means her hormones are shifting and her body is shifting gears into egg production mode. You will also notice that these parts start to feel warm to the touch, and they might even look a little bit swollen. It is like her body is putting on a bright neon sign to tell the world that she is finally becoming an adult bird. Once you see that bright red color, you should start looking for the most famous move in the chicken world called the squat. If you walk near your hen and she suddenly drops her chest to the ground and spreads her wings out slightly, she is squatting. This is a submissive reflex that tells you her body is physically ready to handle a rooster and start producing eggs. It might look like she is scared or trying to hide from you, but she is actually showing you that she is mature. I remember the first time my favorite hen did this to me, and I thought she was having a leg cramp or a seizure. I realized later that it was just her way of saying that her very first egg was only a few days away from arriving. If you want to be a real chicken expert, you can actually do a physical check on her bones to see the progress. Pick up your hen gently and feel the two small bones on either side of her vent, which are called the pelvic bones. When a hen is young and not laying those, bones will be very close together, and you might only fit one finger between them. As she gets ready to lay, those bones start to spread apart to make room for an egg to pass through her body safely. If you can fit 2 or even 3 fingers between those bones, it is a guarantee that she is going to lay very soon. This is a trick that old farmers have used for hundreds of years to tell which birds are earning their keep and which are not. You should also start listening to the noises they make, because their voices actually change when they reach this big milestone. A young chicken usually just peeps or makes soft trills, but a hen ready to lay starts making a loud clucking sound. We call this the egg song, and it is a series of loud, repetitive squawks that can get pretty noisy in the backyard. She might start practicing this song a week before she even lays, as she walks around the yard looking for a place to hide. This brings us to her behavior, because she will suddenly get very interested in the nesting boxes you have provided for her. You might see her going in and out of the coop multiple times a day just to move the straw around with her beak. She is looking for a spot that feels safe and dark and quiet, where she can do her business without being bothered by others. If you see her sitting in a box for 20 minutes and then walking out with no egg, do not get discouraged or worried. She is just doing a dress rehearsal to make sure the spot is perfect before she commits to the actual hard work. Sometimes this process is delayed by things like high stress, or if you're still feeding them the wrong kind of bird food. If they are under constant threat from a neighborhood dog or a hawk, they will hold on to those eggs out of pure fear. You also need to make sure you have switched them from grower feed to layer feed, once they hit 18 weeks of age. Layer feed has the extra calcium they need to make those hard shells, otherwise the egg might get stuck inside of them. If a hen gets an egg stuck, it is a major emergency that can actually kill her if you do not help her right away. That is why knowing these signs is so important for the health of your flock and not just for your own breakfast plans. Once all these signs align, you will walk out one morning and find a tiny, beautiful egg waiting for you in the straw. The first few eggs will be much smaller than what you see at the store, and we call these pullet eggs or fairy eggs. They might have strange shapes or weird spots on them while her body is still learning how to use the machinery. Do not worry if the first one is a little bit bloody or has a soft shell, because that is totally normal for a beginner. After about 2 weeks of laying, her eggs will get larger and the shells will get much stronger and more consistent. Take a deep breath and trust the process, because your hens want to lay those eggs just as much as you want to eat them. Check out this next video to see exactly what you need to do with those first few eggs to keep your hens healthy.